Hi students, welcome to week 13 here in the lab. It's a little bit of a special week because of the Thanksgiving holiday, so let's start off with just a couple of announcements. Because it's a short week, we actually won't be having any workshops, but we will start them back up again next week. Also, it's a short week, so that means we're going to be closed Thursday through Saturday. But don't worry if you usually come on a Thursday, Friday, or Saturday to do your assignments, because we're actually going to leave week 13 open until next week. If you are able to complete your week 13 assignment this week, we encourage you to do that because it could be a little challenging to try to finish 2 weeks in just 1 week. So again, week 13 will be open until next week because of the short week that we're having. Okay, now let's see what is going on for week 13. You'll notice that the first link here says, please help us by completing a survey about your lab experience. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. All right, and when you are ready to begin, I'll show you what it looks like. Just click on this link here. And after you are on this page, you're going to click on this highlighted link here. And it takes you to this lab survey. There are only 10 questions, and then you have an opportunity to leave a few comments. We really appreciate you completing this survey for us so that we know where we need to improve to make your lab experience even better than it already is. So thank you in advance for filling this out for us. Now let's go back to Etudes. I'm going to click on Course Map. And so this week, you are actually going to start preparing for your final exams because the semester is almost over. Hooray! So in the lab, we're going to help you do that. So on assignment 13, what you're going to get are a lot of nice tips on how to be successful in your final exam. So on part 1, it's going to be a PowerPoint. So you're going to click here to open that up. And my view might be a little bit different from yours, but just click on the PowerPoint so that you can read through these slides. Gives you a nice tips on what to do with that article that you will be receiving. If you haven't received the article from your instructor that your final exam is going to be based on, don't worry because you should be getting that very soon. So go ahead and take some notes, read carefully so that you're doing everything you can to pass that final exam. Okay, I'm gonna go back to Etudes, back to Course Map, because that was only part 1 of the assignment. So let's scroll down to part 2. Where am I? Here we are. Okay, so I'm going to click on assignment 13 again because there was a part 2 here. And if you click on this link, you'll get an even more in-depth information about how to pass that final exam. It is a lot of reading, so you might want to take some notes, but if you go through this carefully, you are going to do an amazing job on that final exam. So go ahead and take the time to study this and take some notes so that you're fully prepared for that essay. Okay, again, back to Etudes, back to Course Map. So after you have read the information on the assignment portion, we're going to get started on the project portion. For your final exam in your real class, you'll be receiving an article that you'll have to read and then write an in-class essay. And we're going to help you prepare for that. So in the lab, we're giving you a practice article to read this week, and then you will be doing a practice exam next week. So let's scroll down to the project. All right, and let's click on project 13. So the first step for the project is to ask a member of the lab staff for the article. After you receive the article titled Ohio's Failed Educational System Forced Desperate Mom's Hand, you are going to read it carefully and annotate it. Remember that annotating or making marginal notes, highlighting, looking up words you don't understand is going to give you a much better understanding of the article than if you didn't do any of these reading techniques. After you have read and you have a nice understanding of that article, you're then going to respond to these 8 questions. Some of these questions might have 2 parts to them, so make sure that you are answering all parts of the question. For example, for number 1, what did Kelly Williams Bowler, a mother from Ohio, do that was against the law? Why did she do this? So if I were to respond to this question, I would scroll down to the text box and type in number 1 and start with Kelly Williams Bowler broke the law when she, and then obviously you can fill that in for yourself. So make sure to be writing complete sentences like this and not writing these little fragments. Okay, I want to bring your attention to number 8. So for your real final exam, you will be receiving the article a week or so before you actually take it. This means that you won't know the prompt or the question until you actually sit down and take that exam. So number 8 is asking you to predict the question that you might be asked so that you can start coming up with some responses. Okay, so make sure that you think about that so that you can start formulating a nice response for the article. So that's week 13, at least that's the mandatory part. I'm going to go back to Course Map to quickly show you some of our optional activities. So if we scroll to 13, we have another in the news, rape allegations against Bill Cosby. I'm sure many of you have been hearing about this, and so we have an article and a video so that you can continue to investigate what's going on. As usual, we have our free write, another optional story about new rap coats on street signs popping up in LA. That's pretty cool. And some other English websites. So that's it for week 13. A nice short week. I hope you all have a nice Thanksgiving break, and we'll see you in the lab.